Uh, well, as y'all know, I'm sure you heard from Coach Williams that college basketball season is right around the corner. We open up 2 weeks from tomorrow with a home game November the 5th. And then we play another home game on that Saturday against Alcorn. It's a doubleheader with the football team. And so our team is moving forward toward those dates in particular. Very excited about our team this year, as you may have heard or not. We've got a different team this year, completely different looking team with a little bit of the old mixed in. I brought today 3 of our returning players, J.D. Williams, Tyree White, and Michael Ertl. All played for us last year, extensive minutes. They were important players on our team last year, and they're very important players on our team this year. They're really the only 3 guys coming back with any experience. We've got 8 newcomers, but actually 2 other returners that didn't play very much. So 10 guys, really and truly, that are new to our program, in particular the 8 guys, and Division I basketball. We made it a conscious decision last year after the season to try to get bigger in recruiting, taller, more muscle, try to stay athletic. I mean, look at those guys over there. Look how skinny they are. We had to do something. And so we really did. Coach Cross, my associate head coach, did a tremendous job of really trying to do what I asked him to do. And we wanted to get taller and bigger. Our team last year, which was such a fun team to watch and coach, a team that shot the 3 ball, obliterated the school record, a lot of fun at home watching them play. Small, quick, a lot of guards. But that team had trouble stopping people, and not because they didn't play hard, and not because the coach didn't coach them hard or whatever. It was really and truly a size factor in the Sun Belt Conference. We were fine in the Southland or some other leagues, some smaller leagues, so to speak. But in particular in the Southland, we had trouble stopping people defensively. We didn't have any rim protection. We had trouble staying in front of the basketball a lot of times, and it was more of a physical issue. That led us to the recruiting that we put together and decided to try to get as big as and as long as we could. And so we've gone from the smallest team in the league to most probably the biggest team in the league, or close to it. We now have 7 guys out of our 13 scholarship players that are 6'7" to 7 foot, and numerous guys over 200 pounds, where last year we didn't play anybody. If you were over 200 pounds, you didn't play. And so we really changed the look of our team. And so that has been interesting for me as a coach to take them all in July and try to put this team together, to find an identity, to see how we can use the size and still be a good team. But I brought these 3 players here because regardless of what we do with all these new players, we'll only go as far as these 3 guys will take us. And they all had 3 good years last year. Obviously, Mike Ertl was an all-conference selection. J.D. Williams averaged double figures in the league. And Tyree White, late in the year, was playing as well as anybody on our team. Tremendous improvement that Tyree White made over the year. Just to show you how big we are, or going to try to be this year, Tyree played the center position for us last year. Now, he's not a center, but just because of the makeup of our team, and we had to play him there. And this year, he's played almost every rep in practice at the 3 position, the wing, a guard position, a swing position, if you want to call it. And so that just tells you right there about the newcomers that we brought in particular, at the 4 and the 5, the forward position and the center position. And, we had a scrimmage last week. we rotated. We played 5 guys at the 4 and 5, and it was pretty neat to see a little bit because they're all kind of different too. Some are long and athletic, some are big and strong. Some can shoot it, some can drive it, and they really kind of fit well within the package that we were trying to play with last week. So I expect that to continue as we move forward. A lot of guys, a lot of new guys that you haven't seen playing the 4 and 5. Uri White is a returner also, and he's in that mix of those five or six guys. Uri's playing very well right now. Really kind of a renewed enthusiasm for the season. His year didn't go very well last year because of injury. We tried to bring him back, and, things just didn't go his way necessarily, but he's doing a nice job for us, and so he's one of them. The other returner that didn't play very much last year, Jalen Hodge, was a freshman. He's in the mix in our guard rotation, doing a good job for us as well. The newcomers, I've been working on their last name pronunciations all morning. I got the first names down. The last one's been a little tough. Chris Efratui, 7-footer. I did pretty good there. He's from Nigeria, from South Plains Junior College. 7-footer. He's huge. He's big, and he's pretty mobile for a big guy like that. And not very athletic, but mobile. Can kind of move. He's got a nice jump hook. I think you're going to enjoy watching him play. Dadu Traore, I think I got that one right. He's from the Congo. He's from Clarendon Junior College, another 6'10" kid. Different than Chris, more of a shot blocker, defender, rebounder, type guy. He's another guy that you can enjoy watching play this year in terms of newcomers. Elijah Ifajay, I believe I got that right. I'm doing good here now. And Elijah's from Hill Junior College. He's from Canada. Big, strong kid now. I mean, what we lacked last year, we got it. We got it some this year in muscle and strength. And, he's 6'7", 230-something, 240, and he's a bull now. And he's going to be a nice player for you to watch. We got a grad transfer from East Tennessee State, DeAndre Bernard. Different than Elijah or the other guys. He plays a lot like Tyree did last year, a little bit. And he's an athlete, very, very athletic, can move well on the court, and has really been helping us here since practice started, and particularly in running offense and that type thing. And but again, all those guys, you'll see them as we go through the season. You'll learn their names and who they are and what their game is. But I want to go back to these 3 guys here. We got to have these guys play well, and they know it, and I think they will play well. Mike's got to take another step forward as he's done the previous 2 years. JD's got to take a step forward from last year. Tyree needs to continue to improve and take another step forward. These 3 guys here are going to lead us in shot attempts. I hope they lead us in makes because we need them to do that. And then blend in all the rest of this team to go along with these 3 guys. And I think this team, been involved with a lot of teams over 33 years or however long it's been. It's been a long time. And this team's got a chance. Now, we've got a lot of improving to do because of all the new players, all the newcomers. Many of them have never played Division I, and it's different. It's tougher. It's more intense. You got to play harder all the time. And that's a little different for them, and that takes some getting used to and some time to develop necessarily with, in particular, 8 new guys. But I think this team has a really high ceiling. I do, if we can be right, because of the size and athleticism that we have brought in to help us defend, rebound, rim protect, offensive rebound, something that things that we didn't have a lot of at times last year. Last year was a lot about the 3 ball and fast breaking and and that type thing. And this is different. This is different, but a good different, I hope and I think. And it's got a really high ceiling. So I'm really excited about working with them. Great group, unbelievable group of guys. They want to be coached. They want to learn. They want to get better. They do what I tell them to do, which I really like that part right there. And it's been a lot of fun so far, and I really want to help them. And as the coach, that's the part that really excites me. With each and every team is how can I help you? How can I help this team be the best that they can be? And so we're hard at work at it right now, and I think you'll see us improve over time. And this team's got a chance. Any questions? Got a good non-conference schedule before any questions. The 2 home games we open up, then we hit the road for Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Got some more home games sprinkled in there late November and December. And then we got a couple conference games in December, which is different because of the 20-game league schedule that we're doing this year. And then we end December at Butler at Hinkle Fieldhouse, which is a historic place and be a great trip for our team, and also for Mike Ertl. That's his hometown, Indianapolis, Indiana. And Mike grew up on Butler's campus. He went to their camps, and so he'll get a chance to really go back there and play well and hopefully lead us to a win. And he'll have a lot of fans there and support, so that'll be neat for him. And then the conference play. The conference is wide open this year. It doesn't matter to me what the preseason rankings are going to say, because we lost a lot of good players in the league this past year to graduation. Of the 15 all-conference players, probably 9, I think it was 9 maybe, 9 or 10 were lost to graduation. So the league's really up in the air. There's a lot of unknowns in this league, team-wise, us being one of them, with so many newcomers. And I think we've got as good a chance as any to be a good team in our league.
How tough
Go ahead.
How tough of a pill was it to swallow, knowing that you guys had to get away from the small ball and get bigger, essentially?
Well, it's a decision that I made, and told Ryan that, it's just you got to be able to defend and rebound. You just do, And it's a shame that team last year with that offense couldn't rim protect, couldn't defend any better, rebound any better than it did, because that offense, that doesn't come around very often. That was a prolific offense for us here. Very, very good. One of the best, that I've had in my tenure, really, in particular since I've been here. But you still got, you got to have defending and rebounding and some kind of rim protection. And so it wasn't that tough for me, to be honest with you. The key is that, to have a team where we're still good. We're still a good team, even though we've made this change. And, that comes from practice and piecing it all together. And I think we'll be fine.
I know once the season gets going, you really can put your finger on what your identity is, but it sounds like you're going from more safe to say finesse team to more, you're going to be a big physical.
Foul a lot,
yeah.
Foul, knock them down, we've had more concussions in the last month than we've had in 10 years. And, but some of that, yes, rebounding and defending and those type things. And, we didn't throw the ball in the post very often last year. We couldn't. We didn't need to. There wasn't much to throw it in there to necessarily. And now we can a little bit. And so getting to the free throw line some more is a part of having a good team. Shooting more free throws than your opponent's attempts. You always hear that. This is a team that could possibly have some of that. Sure. And so just tried to add some of those extras that are always with good teams, and that's kind of what we tried to do.
Coach, there's so many different pieces. You figure more of the bench or try to feel this thing out for the first month or two to try to figure out what the pieces of the puzzle are going to fit into?
We played 11 guys Friday in the scrimmage we had. Played all 11. And it kind of worked. You know, Tyree's been out with a foot injury here lately, and so he didn't get to play. But you know, it may be a team. I know I say this every year, but I mean, you know, I think this is the one. I really do. I think this is it. We're gonna play a lot of guys, and so you know, and I think because of the makeup of this team, that it really may. I'll put it to you like this: all 13 scholarship players, as of today, I wouldn't mind putting any one of them in a game. I wouldn't, and I hadn't been able to always say that necessarily, and so that tends to mean that you know, we'll do it by committee a lot. You know, except for these three over here, you know, they're going to play and play a lot, and but could be a real committee type situation, and for the better.
Coach, you mentioned a lot of the newcomers hadn't played Division I ball before. Do you sense any growing pains the first month or so before you get into conference play?
In the issue of how hard it is to win a Division I game, that's the biggest thing that when you get newcomers is they don't really know. They think they know, but they don't. How hard it is to win any game, one game against anybody. It's completely different than, you know, coming from high school or coming from junior college or prep school or wherever. It's more intense. Every possession matters, on and on and on. And, you know, some guys, that takes some getting used to, that type of play hard and that type of having the body language to play that way all the time and the stamina and on and on and on. And that part takes a while with newcomers. It took Tyree White. I mean, after last summer, you know, I was ready to send him back to St. Louis. I really was. And today he's one of our most improved players. And I'm so proud of him and where he is today in his improvement. And he'll tell you ask him what I'm talking about. He knows. But that happens with newcomers. It really does. And it takes time. So the non-conference season for us is going to be about that, where we can get to conference play. And now we're not inexperienced, so to speak. We've got some experience going on out there, and guys know how hard you got to play and the whole bit to win.
Staying on Tyree then, for him to be able to go back to the wing, you know, just how big is it for him to be at a natural position this year as opposed to last year?
Well, he loves it. I mean, he's over there smiling. He loves it, and you know, Tyree's obviously, you know, he's a great athlete. He's an electric athlete, and but he's got a good skill level. He's got a good skill level, which allows him to play that position. And he's shooting the ball better than ever right now, which is very, very good. And you know, Tyree's a great example of the motor I'm talking about that you got to have. He's just now developing it, or the end of last year, started developing a real motor to play at a high level. Took him a while, and you even have to have more of that at a guard position necessarily, because you're defending quicker and faster players than you are inside, and you know, on and on and on. So it's nice to see him. I put him there in July when we had our team together. I played him to 3 the whole month. I wanted to see for myself, could this work or not? Was it going to work? And I came out of July thinking it went well. I thought, boy, this is good right here. This is good. And so we've kind of followed that pattern right there and left him there, and then went on with these other guys. And so, you know, unless he's hurt, you know, Tyree's going to be our starting 3-man, Tyree. Hey. And so he's so happy about that.
Coach, developing post players, is the mindset a little different for you guys as a coaching staff?
Well, you know, these post players, they're, you know, none of them are one and done type guys. You know, it's not that way that they're coming in here. They're all coming in here with, each one of them has a certain strength, and they're different with each player. And so what we've tried to do is just get them involved in necessarily like our offense. You know, we run a lot of motion offense, and that takes time to learn that. And so we haven't necessarily focused in on certain moves up. We want them to be able to play within this motion. And that takes time in itself. That takes getting used to for them. And so we've done more of that than as opposed to individual post moves and that type thing. We're really trying to stick to what each one of them does well. For example, Big Chris has a really nice jump hook. Well, we're playing to that. Dadu, he doesn't have a jump hook, and but he can ball screen well. So we're keeping him to his strength on that and let him roll the basket. He's got good hands. Elijah's a different player, and he can drive it pretty good. And so we're trying to, take each one, take their strengths, incorporate it into our motion. And that's what we've been playing with kind of for the last 4 months, is tweaking it and trying to fit these new guys, and then always with the mindset that, our 3 leading scorers are sitting right over there at that table. And but these guys could help us some.
Coach, you've had a pipeline in the past, Bahamas, you've got something from Australia. With Congo, Nigeria, Canada, is this the most
Two
diverse?
Canadas,
Is this the most diverse
and
roster?
Australia.
Is this the most diverse one you've had?
This might be we had about four, I think, 5 years ago. So this could be it. You're right. And, Mike Earle's foreign, just listen to him, Add him in there.
You've had some high-flying teams over the years. Is this going to be a fun team for fans to watch?
This is an athletic team. It is. We stayed athletic, and 2 of them right over there. And but there's a couple more too. And we've blocked more shots in the last 3 weeks than we have in the last 3 years. And we stayed athletic. Might have lost a little quickness losing Deshaun. I mean, you don't get that speed and quickness all the time. He was, Deshaun was like a bullet now, and probably lost a little bit of that. I worried about the 3-point line a little bit coming into the year, because when you're coming off a year where we made so many, I mean, are we going to be able to shoot the 3 well? And, so we've been a little inconsistent in practice. Some days we shoot it good, some days we haven't. Been a little, they moved the line back too. So you lose Deshaun and Travis, who made a lot of 3s for us, and they moved the line back. And it's been, erratic. It hadn't been consistent necessarily. But we scrimmaged the other day. We were 9 for 22, I think. Shot it pretty good. Made 9. Anytime you make 9 threes, that's pretty good. And so I'm really hoping that maybe we don't shoot quite as many, but we still shoot a good percentage. And if we do that, we ought to be better inside the 3-point line, getting fouled, and 2-point buckets.
You mentioned Deshaun. Obviously, you're not going to replace that kind of production with just one guy, but do you feel good about the pieces you have that maybe you can, scrap together another double-digit score, even if it's by committee?
Well, I think, again, looking back at Mike and JD and Tyree, in my mind, and this is something I've told the team. I don't want it to be a secret that, Mike and JD and Tyree need to lead us in shot attempts, and I don't have any reason to believe that those 3 guys won't average double figures for us. And then from there, a committee of guys to make up the difference. And that's kind of where we're headed and what we're focusing on. And again, these scrimmages that you have are, they're closed, supposedly they are closed, and they're supposed to be secret scrimmages. They're not very secret. And but after we looked at our stat sheet, and sure enough, Mike and JD led us in scoring. Tyree didn't play, but we had another kid get us 12, and then there was a bunch of 9, 8, 6, and we actually scored 78 points. So that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad, and not bad at all for a closed scrimmage and that many new guys. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Coach, it's been nice over the past few years to see the build-up here at home, and we've become now one of the toughest teams to come in and play at. How nice has the crowd support been, and how do you want to see that continue going into this season?
Well, the one thing that has been obvious in the last 5 years, actually, is that when it gets right in there, it's as good a place as there is in the league. We don't have the newest building. we don't have this or that, but that building, for whatever reason, whether it's the old acoustics or whatever, when you get a lot of people in there, it's a nice atmosphere. And we've seen it, a time or two over the last 5 years, in particular last year, late in the year, 4 or 5 years ago, we got it really good there for, a bit. So, and it does impact the games and the home records and the team. So, hope we're looking to build off last year, and we got 15 home games this year. We're going to have an exciting team again and a new looking team, and really hoping that it'll continue from what it ended last year on into this year. And we got to do our part. We got to win games, and it all goes hand in hand. But I think these guys will.
I know you can't talk about specific individual guys with the rules being what they are, but just, looking at recruiting right now to see not only the guys you got, they're in-state kids, they're at the high school level, which is a little different. Do you feel like, what you've been able to do is giving you some momentum in recruiting?
What we've been able to do as a program here, I don't think there's any question. And I don't know that, that we could have done earlier, 8-9 years ago, what we're doing currently. And I think that obviously comes with time and branding and winning some games and getting your name out there and all that type thing. And, that's led into a lot of good things for us here in recruiting so far with the signing day coming up in November.